And lastly, I'd like to say a word about fine-tuning or the anthropic principle, because as you can tell, while there are many reasons for holding to the multiverse theory, that is one of the major motivations, beyond that it troubles your worldview or all these various examples we heard, psychological factors, preferred theories, etc. The issue that is more so than anything else, it seems to me, fueling the multiverse theory is the attempt to deny fine-tuning. So first you deny fine-tuning, then when you can't deny it anymore, uh-oh, what do I do with it now? And so, well, you know, there's so many universes that, well, some are fine-tuned and some are not. We just happen to be in the one that is. And by the way, when it comes to materialism, atheism, etc., I think that's their bottom line answer to any and every ultimate question is, it just is. It just is. It just happened. It just happened to have happened that way. It just is. This one's fine-tuned for life. Well, we just happen to have gotten lucky in being in the one that's fine-tuned for life. Well, if it wasn't, we wouldn't be here to discuss it, would we? And so these two statements I found quite interesting. Edith Zahavi and Avishai Dekel in Nature write, this type of universe requires a degree of fine-tuning in the initial conditions that is apparent in conflict with common wisdom. And N. Strassman in European Journal of Physics wrote that we are confronted with a disturbing cosmic coincidence problem. And as I was preparing for this lecture, this line came to mind one day. Extraordinary fine-tuning requires an extraordinary fine-tuner. That's, I think, the logical conclusion. So I actually did not want to discuss fine-tuning in detail because, I mean, that would just, that's a whole big field and we could get really sidetracked. But I do want to hit some bullet points. And I'll just go ahead and read them. The values of nature's fundamental constants, strong nuclear force constant, ratio of the electromagnetic force constant to gravitation constant, mass ratio of the electron and proton, ratio of protons to electrons, cosmic entropy level, fine structure constant, polarity of the water molecule, mass excess of the neutron over the proton, the initial excess of matter over antimatter, the sun's historical change in luminosity, which happens to coincide with the specific needs of Earth-based life forms, galaxy type, if too elliptical, no heavy elements, if too irregular, radiation exposure, supernovae eruptions, not too far or too close, not too infrequent, not too soon or late, parent star distance from center of galaxy, number of stars in the planetary system, parent star age, parent star mass and color, surface gravity not too weak or not too strong, distance from parent star, too close, burn up, too far away, freeze to death, inclination and eccentricity of orbit, axial tilt, rotation period, asteroidal and cometary collision rate, the oxygen to nitrogen ratio and oxygen quality, global distribution of continents, Jupiter's distance, if too great, too many asteroids and comet collisions. If less, Earth's gravity would become unstable. And I want to put particular emphasis on this one, oxygen, carbon dioxide, respiration exchange between plants and animals. Now, as far as I know, the person who actually conceived of this one point makes the following point. Of all the available chemicals, and it needn't have been a gas, plants evolved, quote unquote, to utilize CO2 as a basis for the system. As this process was developing through eons of time, and that's a whole problem right there, to eventually become a functioning respiratory system, and proceed to photosynthesis, a separate system was evolving alongside, i.e. animal respiration, which just by happenstance involves another gas, O2. How lucky and fortunate that both independent systems evolving alongside each other but totally disconnected and unaware of each other's presence and progress, evolution is a mindless phenomenon after all, managed to produce not only separate respiratory systems but complementary respiratory systems, in as much as the waste product of each is essential and is the essential requirement of the other. This screams an intelligent designer. And as far as I know, this person is the only one who has brought this point forward as evidence of fine-tuning or an anthropic principle. And that person is the erudite elucidator of all things cosmogony, Mr. Roger Hall. Very nice. And he sent me that in an email, so I hope you don't mind. I read it right out of there. And he actually provided me these slides on anthropic principle.